Okay, this is my favorite chapter. It's restaurants and travel. Now, I love to travel a lot, and I apply the nourishing principles when I go out because I want to make sure that the way I'm eating at home is very similar to how I am away from home. And this is one of the hardest things I've seen my clients face is that they're not able to apply the nourishing principles when they go out to eat, when they go on vacation, when they're away from their kitchen for 3 days, things of that nature. So let's navigate ways that we can apply the nourishing principles in lifestyle stressors or lifestyle situations. Okay, the easy one, going out to a restaurant, how do we navigate that? Well, if I know, for example, that I'm going to a restaurant with my girlfriends and it's this specific restaurant, so I know ahead of time what it is, then I will scan the menu on the website to make sure I can find foods that I can automatically get. That way I don't really have to have an open dialogue with the server. I can just order what I found from the menu prior and not have to make it a big deal, right? That would be great. So again, planning ahead is very number one key. Now, if you saw something on the menu that looked iffy or you would want to try but not sure what the ingredients are, that's where you can build an open dialogue with your server. You could call the restaurant ahead of time so no one knows that you're doing this, or you can just tell them at the restaurant, hey, what does this have? Does it have gluten or is there a substitution for this? And you can make it very simple. If you don't really know where you're going and this is kind of a blind restaurant that you haven't been to, you can ask the server the following questions. Is that meat dredged in flour before cooking? Is there any dairy in that salad dressing? That's if you have a dairy intolerance. What seasonings are used? Can the fish be grilled instead of fried? Can you get a hamburger without the bun? These are just really general questions that you can ask your server. And in general, what I like to note is if you're getting a protein, I like to opt for grilled or broiled versus deep fried, right? Seems like a no-brainer. When it comes to veggies, I like to see if I can get them steamed versus cooked in oils, because for the most part, they're not going to cook it in our good old grass-fed butter or ghee or coconut oil or avocado oil. They're going to more or less cook it in rancid veggie oils. So those are simple questions that you can ask as well. All right, when eating at someone's house. I love this because for the most part, if you know the host or you've been to their house beforehand, you don't have to have an open dialogue. You could just let them know, hey, these are foods that I can eat, but these are foods that I'm trying to stay away from and see how my body reacts to it. You can just be very real with your host and let them know, be completely transparent. So you could ask them for a barbecue, for example. Are you going to cook this meat and barbecue sauce? And if so, what kind of brand is the barbecue sauce? Because there may be hidden gluten in the sauce, right? Well, then that's great because then you can put it on the side if you talk to them beforehand. And again, this goes with planning ahead, making sure you talk to them way before you went to the event. Another thing is maybe that the menu looks great, but dessert is a hard one, right? Well, that's a fun one because then you could bring a gluten-free dessert. So not only are you opening everybody's minds up to this new healthy, fresh, but flavorful dessert that you have, you're able to share it with people and have that open dialogue and let them know, hey, this is just what I'm doing. I feel great. You tasted this dessert. Eating healthy isn't bad. Like, this is nourishing. And you're able to build that community with your friends, which is really fun. When traveling, so if you're road tripping, I love to have a cooler. I love to have like my meal prep already there, snacks, powders, elixirs, things of that nature. But if you're pushed for time, just go to a grocery store and get non-perishable things that you can easily prepare and mix up, like rotisserie chicken, canned fish or smoked fish, jerky, fruits, vegetables, things of that nature. When it comes to flying, I just learned last month when I went to Vegas that I could bring my meal prep, my snacks, my powders, my elixirs, my breakfast items with me in a carry-on and it not count as a carry-on. That was amazing because then I didn't have to worry about paying extra. Now, obviously, make sure that the foods that you're bringing are TSA approved. And then also think about if you're going internationally versus domestic, of course, as well. When you're at a location, I like to make sure that the hotel has a a fridge or maybe even a kitchenette or a coffee maker where I can boil water and make my powders, like my teas, my elixirs, or to put hot water in my oatmeal, things of that nature. With an Airbnb, that's automatically a great idea because you have a kitchen. So you can, even if you didn't bring your meal prep with you, then you can make sure that you check out a local grocery store that's close by within walking distance, or a quick Lyft or Uber ride, and then you have a kitchen so you can make most of your meals out there. So not only are you saving on costs, you're eating foods that are very familiar to what you eat at home, and you may be eating out once or twice so that you have a good balance. At the end of the day, though, the bottom line, and I hope this is what you've gotten from the previous slides, is the best way to eat well away from home is similar to eating well at home, and that is planning ahead. What we talked about in every situation is you have to plan ahead. You have to plan ahead so that decision fatigue doesn't come on and you go back to old habits. Now, it's okay if you eat like how you used to, or you just indulge in going out for ice cream with the family on the beach, or like old traditional habits. Of course, like you want to make sure balance is key, but you also need to know that you can apply those nourishing principles when going out to eat or traveling, and you're going to feel your ultimate best. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that we can do long-term sustainability and balance.